got that one, and now I need to get this one. ¿Cuál es la? What's up, you guys? Oh my god, I got a code on this one. 26, 22, 92. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm trying to connect here, but my phone, my computer, everything is just acting weird. Okay, cool. I should be good to go now. Where are you at? YouTube, TikTok. What's up, you guys? Where are you guys connecting from? I'm just curious to see where you guys are connecting from today. Last time I had a lot of people from California, some people from Washington State, some other people from different cities. I want to know where you guys are connecting from. We're gonna be going over how to make money in this market, man. A lot of people are asking me, Anderson, what are you doing? Log into TikTok. What do you mean log into TikTok? What the heck is this? How do you log into TikTok from your computer? Don't tell me I need to do that. Oh my god. Guys, give me 1 second. Bear with me 1 second. Bear with me. But just in the meantime, tell me where you guys are connecting from. I'm trying to set up my TikTok. Because I usually go live on my... Oh, I don't have TikTok here. Okay, so what about Facebook? No, actually... Where are you guys connecting from our house? Not you, Lucy. Hey, what do you think about this background, Lucy? Do you like it? Because guess what? I have this background and I have another background that I don't like. Oh my God, Lucero. I really like that wallpaper, but I don't think I like the live videos on that wallpaper. Anyways, okay, guys. I'm gonna be doing a quick live video. This is gonna be quick. We're just gonna be chatting about how to make money on this market, because a lot of people, like I was saying, I'm not able to connect to TikTok. Dang it. Somebody knows how to connect to TikTok. Give me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. In the meantime, I'm gonna put some music. The music that you play when you're just waiting for someone in the phone and stuff. That's the music I'm gonna play. 6-digit code. Oh, email username. Okay. Okay, Lucy, you should be getting a... you should be getting a code right now. Please send it to me. Just don't send it through the chat. Because what? Now I have to prove that I'm not a robot. This one and this one. Oh man, I hate this thing. Why are you kidding me? Okay, I guess I'm not gonna be able to connect from TikTok. I told him I was gonna connect. No way. This is funny. I have tried like 20 different passwords, and I almost said one out loud. Okay, please. Okay, Gabriel, what's up, brother? Where are you connecting from? Everybody, where are you guys connecting from? I want to make it. Okay, I'm in. Let's go. Let's get it done. Okay, guys. So real quick, I want to tell you about what's really going on with the economy, with the market, and how you can capitalize from this economy. If you're in real estate, comment down below, I am in real estate. I just want to see how many people are in real estate, or just comment what business, what type of business are you in? Even if I know you already, I just kind of want to see, I want to do like a poll. I want to see where you guys are at, what businesses. I want to see what businesses, because I want to give you something of value. Okay, marketplace, how in the world do I go live from a tablet? Anybody knows? Video? No. I want to see what businesses you're in. What businesses? There's someone connected that's the Flooring Orlando. I think you're not. Oh man. Okay. So if you guys are in real estate, this is what I want you guys to do. Now it's reconnecting. Dang it. Well, God knows why things happen. Only God knows. Only God knows. Live, get coin, suggest a live creator. How do I even go live? I guess you're not able to go live from a mobile device. I mean, from a computer, just a mobile device, just from a. Okay, I might have to do it like this. Okay, I'm just gonna do Instagram, which is fine. Arturo, ¿cómo estás, brother? Okay, so Arturo, let's take your example, bro. You're connected right now. I'm trying to connect on TikTok and YouTube and some other platforms. I always get different viewers, but I'm literally trying to connect from here. And then you know what's funny? Look, this is my tablet, which I should be connecting live from here, and this is my other phone. And guess what happened to this phone? Look, 44 minutes locked. I'm not able to access this phone, and guess why? Because of my 3-year-old grabbing the phone, locking my phone out, and now I'm not able to connect in 44 minutes. Can you guys believe that? How do you go around this? So because I couldn't connect from here, I have to go from the computer. And because the computer, for some reason, you're not able to do a live video from a computer. So whatever, only God knows. Only God knows. Okay, guys. So I'm gonna be telling you what I would be doing if I was. I want to answer certain questions, but at the same time, I'm gonna be explaining what I would be doing if I was new in real estate, if I was barely starting out, if I didn't have money, if I didn't have contacts, if I didn't have nothing. Literally, if I was like from zero starting out. And if you are already investing in real estate or you own some real estate, you should stay with me because I'm also going to tell you how to leverage what you already have. The thing, guys, is that many times we think that we have some properties paid in full and we go and try to refinance it. Well, you're making a big mistake by refinancing, because when you refinance, guess what you're doing? Somebody comment down below what you're doing when you're refinancing. What are you getting when you're refinancing? Yes, you're getting money, but what else are you getting? What are you getting that is not beneficial, that is not good? You're locking what? What are you locking? You're locking somebody commented. By the way, I'm gonna be giving away some money today. Later in the video, I'm gonna be giving some money. So stay tuned because I'm gonna be asking some questions and then I'm gonna be giving money. Let me try one last time. I should be able to. Anderson Lizarazo, I should be able to go freaking live. Okay, this is a story. That's not what I want. I just want to go live from a tablet, and I don't think this thing is letting me. Yeah, I think I have to do it from the phone, but guess what? It's locked for 44 freaking minutes. Okay, so nobody can guess what are you getting when you're locking your rate. I mean, when you're doing a HELOC, what are you doing? You're not locking the rate, so it's not that one. But what are you doing when you're locking? Oh my God, I keep saying locking. When you are getting a refinance. Well, actually, it depends. You can lock your rate, but what are you doing when you're doing a refinance? You are actually somebody. I want to wait for someone to make a guess. What are you doing when you're getting a refinance? Let's say you own a house. Let's say I buy this house and 30 years later, I paid it in full. It took me 30 years to pay my home. And then after 30 years, I decided to go and get a refinance. Biggest mistake, bigger loan. Yes, you're also getting a loan, but biggest mistake is getting a refinance when you already own a property. You know what you need to do instead? You need to get a HELOC, home equity line of credit. If you're taking notes today, I want to give you guys the most value. And like I said, later in the video, I'm probably going to be just giving some money to whoever is paying attention to what I'm saying. Because it's the truth is a lot of people right now, they're in the process of like, oh, I got a lot of equity in my house. I'm going to go there and do a refinance. Biggest mistake. Omar, what's up, brother? See you in May. See you in May, brother. I think you're thinking of June, but maybe you come in May. So I'm going to say see you in May. So the biggest mistake is, and confirm, bro, are you coming in May or June? Because June is the conference, June the 21st. Guys, the biggest mistake is people going out there, getting a loan, a refinance loan. Is the real estate market crashing after the tariffs? Bro, that's exactly what I'm going to go. That's what I'm going to answer today. So stay tuned because this is the news. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I have a podcast that all we're doing is going over the tariffs on real estate and how this is going to help or affect. So stay with me for a few minutes. I'm gonna give you some insights. And I'm seeing it firsthand. I'm literally seeing it. We're building 20 houses, bro. So I know what I'm talking. I know what I'm saying. And by the way, not only we're building 20 houses, we're also developing land, meaning we have 88 houses in the pipeline, 66 in one project and 22 in another one. So that's an 88 home subdivision, different subdivisions, but total that we have right now going on. So my team and myself, we've put a lot of research on what's really going to happen right now. And you want to pay attention to these. It's going to be quick. It's going to be 30 minutes total. And I started about 15 minutes. I probably got delayed here trying to connect my computer because, like I was saying, my phone got this crazy message because of my 3-year-old. But guys, when you're in the process of buying a property, please pay attention. You don't want to refinance. You don't want to even go out there and get a normal loan. What you want to do is you want to try to get a HELOC. Now, you might be asking, Anderson, how come you can get a HELOC if it is a first lien? HELOCs are usually for second liens and are on the equity remaining. That's not true. You can get a HELOC, home equity line of credit, on first position. Clearwater, Florida. Awesome, bro. Hey, put it on the comments. I want to see where you guys are connecting from because I have lived in different states within the United States, and I know the markets and I know how to help you depending on the state. So just it takes you 3 seconds. Come on, guys. Just put in the comments, I don't know, Clearwater, Florida. I just want to be able to help you guys. I just want to know where you're connecting from so I can help you the best way if you're wanting to make money this 2025. So making a HELOC, this is the problem with making a refinance, having a refinance or having a normal purchase. The problem is that when you are buying a house and you're buying it with a normal traditional way, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be locking for 30 years, not the rate. Yes, you're locking the rate, but you're also locking, you know what? Your payment. And this is a one-way thing. What does that mean, Anderson? Well, this is confusing, right? Okay, well, I'm going to break it down for you. When you're locking your rate and you're saying for 30 years, I'm going to continue to pay, what you're also doing is that every money that you put into the loan is going to stay in the loan. You're not able, if I put $100,000 throughout the last 10 years, I'm not able to tap into that $100,000 that I put into. So what I want you to know is that when you have a HELOC, though, you can put money into the HELOC and you can get the money back whenever you want to get it back. You're basically paying off a note or a loan that you can then grab money against it, right? That's a two-way loan or a loan that has two ways. It has a way in, but it also has a way out. If I'm paying a loan, but I'm like, oh, shoot, I got an opportunity, great opportunity, $100,000 investment that's going to make me $1 million, let's say, right? I don't have money to come up with. Like, I don't have money to use for that investment. Now you miss the opportunity. When you have a HELOC, you don't. You can go ahead, use the money, and invest it. By the way, I don't sell HELOCs. I don't sell loans. This is not I'm not doing this because I'm trying to sell you anything. I'm just teaching you what I've done, what I have gone through, what I can show you that has worked. And so you go there and do the same. You want to become a millionaire, you have to pay attention to people that have already made the millions. Okay? And I'm saying it very humbly. I'm not saying it so you feel less and no, none of that. If anything, the one thing that I always make sure that you always get is inspiration, motivation, and you can go out there and become the person that you want to become. Okay? But the point that I'm trying to make, guys, is you have to think smart when you're buying real estate. Okay? So you already know that, okay, number one, I should be planning on getting a HELOC, right? A HELOC is better than a normal traditional loan. But if you're not able to get a HELOC, go ahead and just get yourself a normal loan. At the very least, get yourself approved. Like I was saying on the last video that I did, get yourself approved, and then, and only then, go there and don't buy the dream home. I'm probably gonna do a shirt that says, don't buy the dream home. Because that's how people make mistakes. The dream home, the so-called dream home that my wife and my kids and my mom and my dad wants is a waste of money. It's just gonna be a home that is gonna take money away from you. It's going to be the home that you're like, oh my gosh, I was in love with the view because I love the view. Yes, you love the view, but you know what you didn't love? When the first payment came through, the first mortgage payment. So the one thing that you need to make sure, instead of buying the dream home, you have to buy the creative home. And guys, I'm saying you once again, I don't sell HELOCs, I don't sell loans. I'm just telling you how I will do it if I was on most of you guys' shoes. And even if I had already owned real estate, I'll still do it this way, which is the way that we're doing it right now. And by the way, drop your comments or questions because I'm going to be going over all of the questions. Right now, I'm speaking strategically about how to buy your creative home. So I already said, for the people just barely connecting right now, you want to buy ideally with a HELOC. And if you were not connected 5 minutes ago, I can explain myself that a HELOC is always better than a traditional loan. Some people say, Anderson, the interest rates are variable. They go up, they go down. Well, it's not just the HELOC that you're getting. You're also redirecting every single income that you're getting into your HELOC. Okay? So follow me on this one. I make, let's say, $20,000 a month. My expenses need to be lower than $20,000 a month. Because if your expenses are higher than $20,000 a month, then you have another problem. Your problem is not making money. You're already making $20,000 a month. Your problem is that your expenses are, let's say in that case, are higher than your income. So guys, this example with the HELOC applies as long as you're financially responsible and you're not spending over more amount that you're actually making. Big mistake. Biggest mistake is people spending more money than they make. So make sure that you grab all of your income. So go one day to your bank, get a statement, or go to your employer if you have a W-2, and try to see how much money you're actually making. Because some people say, well, I make $40 an hour. Yes, but how much of that goes to taxes? How much of that goes to your employer? How much of that goes to this? How much of that goes to Social Security? And how much of that goes to healthcare or Medicare? So make sure that you know exactly what's your after all of these taxes and every single thing. And that number right there is the number that you should be spending, or not spending, investing, spending. Like that's the money that you can actually utilize, right? But not all the money that you're making is what you can utilize. By the way, drop in the comments questions if you have questions as I'm speaking. By the way, I see Arturo has a question. Give me 1 second. I'll go over the question, brother. So with all of that being said, you have to understand how much money you're really, really, really making, right? Then, and only then, you're going to know how much money you're spending. Most people know how much money they make, but some people know how much money they make, but most people don't know how much money they spend. And you know why? Because of the single reason that it's too easy for us to make money, but it's easier for us to spend it. I have been sometimes in social media where I just connect to respond to some of you guys' questions and comments. And by the way, I've been getting a lot of love lately from all of you guys, like a lot of good comments and feedback and, you know, DMs and all that stuff. And one of the things that I notice every time I freaking connect to social media is I'm being advertised so many ads. I get so many ads from so many different things, like, oh, this is how to automate your business, and this is how to do this, and this is how you can use AI for this, and this is how you can. And I'm getting it's at a point that it's kind of getting exhausting to just keep getting everything, because I'm an easy person to buy. I can buy into, if you offer me something that to me makes sense, I'll invest it. I'm an investor. That's the reason why I like to use my money, not spend it. I like to invest it. All the money that I get, I like to reinvest in things that get me more knowledge. So with all of that being said, I'm easy to be sold. Easy, super easy. Like, you tell me something that to me makes sense, I'll buy it, right? But what is the problem with that? That if I don't know how much money I'm really making, I'll be spending more than I'm actually making. And that's a big mistake, right? Okay, I got a message, sorry. So with all of that being said, I always like to invest my money on things that are, always taking me to that next level. So you have to know how much money you're actually spending versus how much money you're actually making. By the way, shout out to Anthony. Man, I was wanting to reach out to you because I know you moved to Colombia, and Colombia is where I'm coming from. So I was wanting to reach out to you and ask you if my people have been treating you properly and awesome, because I hope they have. Drop it in the comments, bro. How's your stay in Colombia? So with all of that being said, you have to know how much money you're spending, but you also have to know how much money you're making. Now, here's the beautiful part. Here's the catch. When you have more money than you're actually spending, right? As of right now, you're working at W2 probably, and you're probably not out of the rat race. What does that mean, out of the rat race? Robert Kiyosaki talks about making passive income. So your passive income, what is passive income? Is the money that basically you don't have to do any work for, but it's getting to your account. Now, when he says no work, it doesn't mean like I just put it there and I literally walk away and I don't know anything and it just gets deposited into my account, because the reality is that most passive income is not so passive. It's like having rentals. Some of you guys probably have some rentals, and you know that when you have a rental property, you get calls from tenants. It always happens, unless you have a property manager. And even if you have a property manager, the property manager is going to call you after something happens that's more than, let's say, $300 or $500, right? So with all of that being said, you have to make sure that you have an investment, or let's say you're making some money, right? But from the money that you're making, whether it is passive or active, you have to understand two things, guys. Whether it is passive or active, you need to make sure that income, it's not higher than your expenses. As long as that's the case, you're better off with a HELOC than you will be with an actual normal, refinance or normal loan. And some bankers, some lenders will agree with me, some will disagree, because of course it's a business. And I have one of my best friends, he's a lender, and I'm always referring him people, because I that's the normal way. That's the traditional way of getting a loan, is going to a bank, getting a lender, the lender is going to give you a loan. But what I think is the new way of people getting loans should be through HELOCs, because of so many additional benefits. And I can send you more. If you send me on my private DM, hey man, tell me more about that HELOC strategy, I can send you, I have literally a full package that I bought. This is something that I bought. I paid $6,000 for it. And it literally walks me through the reasons why the HELOC is best. I'm not gonna go too in detail, because I was gonna do just a 30-minute video. But it's kind of getting extended, because guess what? For the people just connecting now, I still have 26 minutes of a phone lock. This is what my 3-year-old did. He just starts kind of like playing with the phone, and he locked me out of the phone for a full hour. Now it's only down to 26 minutes. I don't know if this has happened to any of you, and is there a way around this? Like, I cannot even put the code anymore. It just says erase phone and then emergency, but I tried everything and apparently I can't. So if you know a way, just put it in the comments. Anyways, guys, so with all of that being said, you have to buy a property, you have to buy a real estate, you have to make more money than you're spending. But what real estate do you buy? Here's where people make the mistake. I know I need to buy a real estate, understand? I know I need to get myself into rentals and all that stuff. But the first misconception, and where I get a lot of like people that get lost, is I don't like to deal with tenants. Well, you don't, but you don't have to, right? Like, that's just one way. Do you want to be a landlord? If you want to be a landlord, just go buy any house and go and get yourself maybe a headache, because tenants, sometimes they're headaches. Sometimes, I don't say always, because for the single reason that I have some great tenants. My tenants are always paying on time, but I'm also reasonable. I'm very reasonable with rents. I'm also very reasonable with deposits. I'm very reasonable with qualifying my tenants because I would rather make $100 less on 12 months income. So that's $1,200 that I'm, losing or, leaving on the table because I'm renting it for $100 less. But guess what? I have 100% occupancy. I have 12 months that a home has been fully rented. If I was to lose 1 month in waiting for the perfect tenant, how much would have that month costed me? How much would it? Let's say I'm renting at $2,000 and for a full month, I couldn't find a tenant because I'm renting it for $300 above the price. For a full month, I couldn't find a tenant. That's $2,000 that I lost, right? So instead of that, you have to make sure that you get yourself a reasonable price for rents. And I'm always, and I always tell my team, we have to be reasonable with the rents because the last thing I want is a tenant that, number one, takes me a month to 2 months to 3 months to find. And number two, a tenant that after a year is like, I'm walking away. This is too expensive, right? So I'm always reasonable with the rents. And I'm always actually going below. I want them to, as a matter of fact, when my tenants, they're kind of like, I don't know if I'm going to renew the lease or not. For some reason, I tell them, go there and look for the market. Feel free. If you feel like this is not the place for the renewal, it's completely fine. Check the market. Let me know what you think. And then let us know. Most of the time they come back, unless it is like another reason, like maybe they're moving, maybe I don't know, they got promoted to a different job that's in a different city, but it's never really it's too expensive for me. Anyways, so if you want to be a landlord, but I don't recommend you becoming a landlord. What I recommend is that you're creative with your homes and you number one, I guess, yeah, because it's a few things. Number one, you buy a home in a creative way. You buy a home that it doesn't cost you money to buy, or it costs you very minimum money to buy. And you might be thinking it sounds too good to be true, but hey, I have done it for 10 years. So I can tell you the way. I can show you the way, and that's what I'm going to be doing on this live video. Okay? So what do you do? By the way, comment down below what city. All I want to know, actually just comment down below the state. I just want to know, because there's some states that have different regulations, and I want to be able to help you the best possible way. And I also want to know where you're connecting from. So next time I do a live video, I will see your face or your photo here, and I will know where you're connecting from so I can help you and continue these communications. Also, guys, we're going to be having a conference that I want to remind you guys that is going to be in June. So it's going to be a real estate conference, and it's going to be for people like you. If you've been paying attention to what I've been saying about how to make money in real estate, you definitely want to be there. And the way to get the ticket, which right now is at the best possible discount, is not going to get better than this, I promise you. The best way to get the ticket right now is just going to my bio on my Instagram and getting a ticket. That's it. Okay? So, and it's really, really, really low price right now. So, anyways, next thing. So, when you buy a home, you don't want to buy a problem. And that's what that's the reason why a lot of people, they get like, they dislike buying real estate sometimes because they think they're buying a headache. They think they're buying an issue, and they are actually doing just that. Because when you're buying an existing home, think about it this way. And I've done this for 10 years, and I've acquired over 100 homes. So I know what I'm telling you when I say that buying a house is actually, it can be a liability. It can really, really, really be a liability. I can give you an example. One day I bought a flip, and I said I'm going to make probably, I think it was like $80,000 to $90,000 in that deal. And I said, I'm going to be making almost $100,000 in this deal. I was so excited, so pumped. It was one of my first deals. I go to the building department before I even close. Like, this was through the process of feasibility, which in the process of feasibility, you know if the deal is buildable or if you can do what you want to do, right? So I go to the building department and I ask them like, hey, I want to do this deal. I want to do this. And they go and tell me, yes, you can definitely do it. And I'm like so pumped. I close on the deal. Well, I go to submit the permit. Like I went to get a permit. That's the other thing that you have to do when you flip houses. You have to go get yourself a permit. You have to go and apply. And then you, at that point, and only at that point, you can start the renovation. I go building department. And then building department tells me, no, you have to go to planning department. Keep in mind, this is one of my first deals. So I didn't know what I was doing. That was almost 10 years ago. When I do that, I'm like, kind of like, okay, well, I didn't know I needed to go to the planning department. I go to the planning department, and planning department has something called setbacks. And this is a corner parcel. So the house was actually in on top of a setback that was supposed to be from the road. And so for me to be able to do that flip, I needed to cut the house almost right through the middle. And as soon as the planning department, the guy that was helping me there, that was in the city of Pasco, as soon as he tells me that on that flip, and once again, this was almost 10 years ago, I was new, I didn't know what I was doing, which is is what I want to help you guys avoid. That's the one thing that I'm wanting you guys to avoid. I want you guys to know the whole, how you do it the right way, so you don't make the same mistake. So when the planning department tells me you have to basically comply, and because the renovation is higher than 50% the value of the assessed value, you have to comply. Like, there's no grandfather in. For the people that don't know what's a grandfather in is when your grandfather, that's how I think about it, right? When your grandfather maybe 40 years ago did something that back then was legal. It was right. It was per code, or if there wasn't even a code, right? But right now, that thing is a no-go. It's illegal. It's not the right way. It's not the right thing to do. Well, guess what? I did just that. I went, I applied. They sent me from building department to planning department. Planning department comes and tells me, Anderson, or they didn't even know my name, but they just said, hey, kiddo, you cannot really do this house because your setbacks, and you have these right here, this setback on the side, which is where one of the roads is, and we cannot allow you to renovate this home because of the single reason that you're on top of a setback. If you want to do it, you have to cut the house in half. Well, long story short, I went from making $90,000 to potentially being negative, because I had to demo the whole house. It didn't even pencil out to cut it in the middle. I had to demo the whole house if I wanted to do it. Now, thanks God, because I've never ever, thanks to God, gracias a Dios, I've never lost money on real estate, which this was the closest that I have been. I go to the guy multiple times. I almost beg him like, hey, you have to, like, please, like, I'm going to be losing the heck. Like, I'm going to be not just losing money. I'm going to probably just, you're never going to see me around anymore. If you know what I mean. But I was like, you have to let me please finalize this project. Because also, I don't remember his name. I think his name was Troy, now that I remember. Troy at the city of Pasco. I said, hey, Troy, I'm probably the only crazy enough dude in town that's willing to take on this project. Because this project has been on fire 3 times. There is squatters. There's always people getting into the house. There's people actually doing drugs inside and outside. And I'm the only person crazy enough, because I was the most risky guy, and I still take on a massive risk at a personal level. But I was the only crazy dude willing to buy this property and try to do it. So we had to go through a long process called a variance. So a variance is kind of like an exception to the code. And well, long story short, we got it done. I was able to do the project. We sold it. We made $80,000, I think it was. It was a successful project. Where am I trying to get with this? I'm trying to tell you 2 things. Number 1, I want you to avoid the same mistakes. I don't want you to make the same mistakes, because I was blessed and I was lucky to have some type of knowledge back then, and to have encountered someone that was kind enough to work with me and be like, okay, let's see if we can make an exception, because you're the only dude crazy enough to be able to do this deal and all that stuff that I put on the table. But with that being said, what if it is your last savings? What if it is the last money that you have, and you encounter someone that says, you can tell me that you're the only dude in the entire world, I'm still not gonna allow you to do that. Then now you're upside down, $40,000, $50,000, $100,000, $1 million, depends, right? So learn from my mistakes. Like I said, I've been in the game for almost 10 years. I know what I'm telling you when I say you have to be careful with these projects. With all of that being said, I'm trying to get to a point here, guys. I'm trying to tell you that it's so much better to do a new construction deal than it is to do a flip. And I have done both. So I have the authority and the knowledge to tell you what I'm telling you right now. I have done both, and I can tell you that doing a new construction project takes less risk, less liability, less issues, less what ifs, less risk from going to the planning department and having this guy tell you no, you cannot do it, and do all of that stuff. Now, do I recommend you do a flip at least one to learn and see the whole thing? Yeah, why not? Like, you have to explore. Within real estate, you can be a flipper, you can be a wholesaler, you can be a developer, you can be a new construction builder, you can be someone that does just renovations, you can be a bird dog, you can be a capital investor, you can be like, there's so many things, multifamily investor, industrial investor. There's so many things within real estate, which is the beauty about real estate. You don't have to have the money, you don't have to have the knowledge, you don't have to have the time. You can have one of the three and just connect with someone else that has everything else, and then you're done. You make money by connecting to the right person. So, but having said all of that, the new construction way is a much better way to do real estate than flipping, than wholesaling, than developing, than doing all that stuff. So this year we decided to, okay, I want to put my money where my mouth is at, and I want to tell everybody how to start doing new construction, how you can start the processes behind a new construction. What is the first thing that you do? What is the second thing that you do? So this year alone, we're building 20 houses, and this is 20 houses in 2 different markets. Today, you can go to my Instagram after this live video. You will see the surveys of the 10 houses that we already obtained. So the first 10 houses, and then we have another 10 houses. So, and all of that this same year. So, and we're building, by the way, we have systemized the whole thing. So now we're building in 2 to 3 months. And we're actually trying to compile all of that to 1 month without affecting the quality of the deal or the quality of the construction. We're basically systemizing everything, because after doing it for 10 years, I've come to realize that in new construction, and you can, if you don't believe me, go to any subdivision or any new construction any day of the week, especially on weekends, but just go, giving the benefit of the doubt, go throughout the week, and you'll see that every now and then you'll see a house that's a new construction and there's nobody working in the house. Those are wasted times. Those are times that the crew, the GC, the contractors are waiting for the inspector to show up. They're waiting for the next contractor to come because he's doing another project. They're waiting for the previous contractor to be done so the next one can go. They're waiting for some material that they forgot to purchase. Like, all of that is wasted time. Like, think about Henry Ford. When he did the car Ford, the one thing that he enhanced, the one thing that he worked on was enhancing and getting the system of like the parts and building the car like on a target. Like, this part gonna go from this time to this time, and we're gonna get the part, we're gonna get it done, and this person is gonna do it. So before, how it was done is every time you had a car, this person will come here, will do some work, and he will go to work on another car, and then, you know, it was so disorganized. But now you don't go to the car goes to you. So it's more organized because there's another car coming behind, and then all you're doing, like, your job is grab this piece, put it in here and screw it, and you're done. But do that 20 times or 20,000 times because you have one car after the other. That's called systemize. So they systemize and they organize. They automated the whole thing. So it's actually an automation, and now it's more organized. That's the same thing that we're doing right now. We're doing the new homes that we're doing. We're systemizing, we're organizing. And so every single step of the way is very organized, and now we get one thing done, the second thing done, the third thing done. I don't know if you guys know, but when you're building a house, you need to get permits, and you need to also get inspections. So check this out. One of the things that we're doing differently is that the inspections that you get, most builders out there, and by the way, you guys are very quiet. I need to see if you guys are even connected or what the heck is going on. I want to see at least like a hand or something, so I keep going. I want to see something on the comments. I just want to make sure that you guys are still there with me, and I'll keep telling my story. Just something. I just want to see something to make sure that you guys are connected. The one thing that I was going to say, as you guys are commenting or just making, I want to make sure that this is valuable to you guys. I don't know if, arre parcero, I don't know if you guys know, but when you are building a house, you have to get inspections. Perfect. Okay, you guys are connected. You guys are definitely listening. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure that you guys are there. So when you are building a house, you need inspections, right? Well, guess what? Most of the times you have to wait for the city to come and check the house and then inspect the property. But there is a way around that. Like I said, a legal, 100% legal way to do it, and actually a faster way to do it, and actually a more systemizable way to do it, because now you can move faster with the houses. So one of the ways that you can do is that you can have a third party sign for the inspection, that they came, inspected, and they saw the whole thing, and they said, yeah, this is per code, and this is everything, and I will sign it, stamp it, and I will notarize, and I will do everything saying that I saw that the work was done. And they're qualified, by the way. They're approved by the city, by the state, and by every single license that you have. So they come, they see that the work was done. Let's say you're inspecting the framing, right? So on a normal world, you have the city, you wait for the city, they have another 20 houses to see that day, and they leave your house last, and maybe they don't even do the inspection that day, they come the next day. So to avoid that, what you do is that you get a third-party home inspection company that they need to be qualified with the city, and they have to be actually approved with the city for the new construction as well. And so they come right like this. You finish the framing, you call it the third party. Now they're gonna charge you, of course, but that 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, whatever, depends on the house. It's so much more worth it, because your time is worth it. If you finish a house in 1 month versus if you finish it like most builders. I have a friend that he's been building for a year. For a year, guys. Like who takes 12 months to build a house? I just want to know, that's insanity. If your builder is taking a year to build a house, don't work with them no more. So with all of that being said, if you have to pay a holding cost, that is a year holding cost, every month you're putting, let's say, 1% of the loan. Now, why am I saying 1%? Because most loans are 12% with a hard money lender. So if they're 12% a year, and there's how many months in a year? 12. That means that you're paying 1% every month. And let's say you're building a $300,000 home. So you're paying out $3,000. Guys, we have payments right now, or mortgages or loans, new construction stuff, that surpasses $15,000 or all combined. And I'm okay with that, because we're making so much more money from that, from the deal that we're making, or the investment that we have. So anyways, but what I don't want to have is $15,000 every single month for 12 months because I'm waiting for the builder to be done. That's insanity. That doesn't make sense. So what you do is you expedite the construction. You get the construction, you get it done as quick, as fast as possible, not compromising the quality. That's the last thing that you want to do, because as soon as you start compromising quality, you're just another builder. You're just someone, just as any, I'm not going to say names, but as any other builders out there, right? So with all of that being said, we also not only systemize the new construction, but we also went above and beyond. And we started thinking about what are the problems with people nowadays. Why people don't buy houses? Why someone put in the comments why people don't buy houses on today's world. And I'm going to put this right here as I'm drinking water with this amazing new bottle. I wanna hear you guys. Why people don't buy houses? By the way, the phone was hold it like this. Isn't this cool? Shout out to my wife for doing this, and we're gonna be giving it at Avanza, so you can actually get one at Avanza. Oh look, it's 13 minutes left. For the people just now connecting, my son, my 3-year-old son, he started playing with one of my phones, and it just went madness. It went for an hour, so I wasn't able to connect it for a full hour. And now it's now it's 5 minutes. Okay, let's go. Let's wait. As long as I don't put the wrong password. Okay, let me connect this here again. Wait 1 second. Put in the comments. I want to make sure that you guys are engaged and that you guys are following my thoughts here. So, what's the number one reason why people don't buy houses right now? By the way, someone sent me a request to join. I'm gonna probably connect after I say the whole thing. The number one reason why people don't buy homes right now is because of one word: affordability. it's not affordable to buy a home right now. It's madness right now. It's so insanely expensive, but it's not. It's also the economy, Uli. It's also the economy, but here's the reason why. It's not just the economy. It's not just that it's the money. It's the fact that you have to pay a mortgage that is $3,000 for a home that is $350,000. It's insane. Like, people are not able to le tienen miedo a Trump. That's true. That's true. So people are not able to pay that mortgage. People are not able to pay that, like, monthly, and be like, well, 3,000 I can justify. Now they have to go lower to 2,000, and for $2,000 mortgage, you don't get no house. That's the truth. Unless you go to a townhome, or you go to I don't even know, a condominium, but you're not able to get anything for $2,000. That's the truth. So here's the problem. The problem is that you don't have money to pay the mortgage every single month. Do we agree? Are we, put the fire if you agree with me right now, or put something right here if you agree with me, right here, or whatever that is. If you don't have money for the monthly payments that you have to make, you're not buying a house. But this is what I tell my people, my followers, my community. I always tell them, there's nothing stopping you from buying 2, 3, 5, 10 houses every year. There's nothing. It's just a mindset thing. You're just saying, I can't afford it. But what if you can afford it? What if you have an opportunity and a way to afford a home, and afford 2, and afford 3, and afford 100? You will do it, right? Well, no, some people wouldn't. And that's the truth, that some people are lazy enough that if you put everything easy for them, they will still not perform. So I want to wake up some people. I want to be able to tell you guys, you are capable, you're able, you should be buying homes. You should be buying homes, and especially on this market. Let me tell you another story. Recently, I was going over my Zillow, because I like to, don't scroll on Facebook, guys. Don't scroll on Instagram. Don't scroll on those platforms. Instead of doing that, go to Zillow, go to Redfin, go to Realtor.com, and look for that next home. Look for that property, even if you're not qualified already. Get yourself qualified, and even if you're not qualified, just start thinking of the next home, because there's something called the law of attraction. You're going to attract what you start thinking. If you start looking on Zillow and looking at the home, the creative homes, not the dream home, the creative home, right? And by creative, I mean something that's going to give you money instead of taking money away from you. Start looking through that. You're going to attract this home, and you're going to be able to do it. So I'm going to tell you a story. I was going through Zillow. I was looking for the creative homes, and I started noticing that there was a lot of homes just dropping price. And I'm like, this is a good thing. Some people are like, oh, this is not a good thing. I'm like, this is a great thing. I'm going to buy so much real estate, which is what we've been doing for the last 2 years, where the economy has been kind of like shaking and stable. So I started thinking, well, what can I buy right now that is going to produce me more than $7,000 to $10,000 a month? What is the one property that I can buy for, let's say, $300 to $350 that can make me more than $10,000 a month? And keep in mind, I have some Airbnbs, so I know for a fact we can do that. I have some Airbnbs that just one unit is making us more than $10,000 a month. And from there, I pay the mortgage, of course, but the mortgage is not $10,000. The mortgage is for that. If I was to just consider that unit, I'm probably paying like $3,000 in that mortgage, because it's multiple units that I have within the same property. So that's the reason why I'm saying multiple units, one mortgage, but I'm making on just that unit, I'm making over $10,000 a month. So with all of that, I started thinking, okay, what can I buy and what can I put on Airbnb? And I started noticing that people are liking experiences right now. They like to be close to amenities. If you're close here in Florida, if you're close to what's it called, to a river, to a spring, that's the word that I was looking for. If you're close to a spring, if you're close to Disney, however, Disney is already too saturated. So I wouldn't even invest on anything close to Disney. Like every single investor and their moms started thinking about, I'm gonna buy in Disney for some reason. Like they thought it was good, and it was good at one point, but right now it's just saturated. Everybody did the same, and you never ever want to do the same as everybody else. That's the one. If that's a tip, if you want to write something down today is don't do everything that 99% of the people are doing, because you're gonna be 99% of the people. You're gonna have the same results as 99% of the people. You want to do what 1% of the people are doing. So anyways, I started thinking, right, just based on my Airbnbs, based on my experience, based on the properties that I have had, The ones that are performing the best are usually the ones closer to springs, closer to experiences, closer to amenities, and they're unique. They're different. So, anyways, I went online. I go on Zillow instead of wasting my time on social media. I go to Zillow and I see the filters, and I put in their cabin. Literally one word, cabin. Boom. I had a listing of there's not many cabins in Florida, but I saw a listing of 7 cabins, and they were all trash. And 1 or 2 were over $1 million. So I'm like, okay, this one's not, And then I continue looking at the 7 or 8 that I got, and I see one, 340, I think it was 330. Let's say it was 340. I think it was 340. My wife is so much better with numbers. Let me see if she's connected. Hey, babe, can you say you're connected, right? Yeah. Can you say how much it was on the market? I forgot right now. I know how much we bought it for, but I forgot how much it was on the market. But anyways, let's say it was 340 or 350. I don't remember. I go there. I call my realtor and I said, yo, let's run the numbers on this deal and let's offer asking price point. So 330. Thank you. She's always good with the numbers. Let's offer asking price point, but let's ask the seller to literally give us concessions for the closing. What does that mean? What does concession mean? You're in the right place if you want to learn about real estate, because I think this is very mind-blowing to a lot of people. And if it is, just put in the comments, "Hey, awesome," or something, or just throw some fire on the little thing right here. So I ask for concessions. What is a concession? It's basically money that you can get at closing. So I told the seller, I'm like, I will give you your price. I'll give you, I don't even want to lower the price. I'm okay with the price, but I want you to help me with concessions, meaning the closing. Guess how much money we got at closing, guys? I'm not even going to say it. Lucero, say it. You say it. You say it. It was just insane, guys. And these same opportunities out there for every single person. Every single person. It wasn't 1,000. It wasn't 5,000. It wasn't 10,000. It wasn't 15,000. It wasn't 20,000. Lucero, how much? What it was? How much it was? 23,500. That's how much money we got at closing. If you had a 5% down payment, guess what? You don't have to come up with no money. These are the opportunities out there, but people are not taking advantage. So I'm telling you, everybody's waiting I'm waiting for the economy to get better so I can invest in real estate and so I can buy, and I'm waiting for those interest rates to drop. Guys, it's going to be too late. When the interest rates drop, at that point, I'll be selling my real estate and you'll be buying my real estate. And guess who's going to be making money? Not you, me. And I'm sorry, I'm putting that example just so you understand my point and so I can focus on my point. You want to sell when everybody's buying. You don't want to buy when everybody's selling. Wait, you don't want to be buying. Yeah, you want to be buying when everybody's selling. But you got my point. You want to make sure right now that you're making those creative offers. Right now, you want to make sure that you're actually going out there, analyzing markets, and asking price offers. And by the way, the best part of this deal is we offer asking, and then after doing the whole thing, we got an appraisal. You know what the appraisal said? The home is only worth $316. Guess what the seller had to do? Renegotiate the price, and I still got the $23,500. Agree to disagree. The market is crashing like 2008. America is going under a recession. Okay, bro. So I completely get your point. I completely get what you're saying. But this is the thing, though. This is the thing. You don't want to buy real estate based on you don't want to be afraid of buying real estate. And the only reason why is because you're not buying, and that was my next point, and I'm glad that I also want to have these two conversation ways. Some people are going to agree, some people are going to disagree. But let me ask you, the homes in 2008 selling for $100,000, how much are they worth today? 10 years, no, not 10, almost 20 years later. 17, 15 years later, something like that. They're definitely not selling for $100,000 today. They're selling at least for $400,000. The same home that was selling for $100,000, right? Like apples to apples. Let's make it. Look at CNN. Wishful thinking works. Wishful thinking works. What do you mean by I wishful think works? So I'm not saying, brother, you're buying a home to sell it 3 months later. What I'm saying, and by the way, CNN is. You have to see both sides. You have to see, if you're going to see CNN, you have to see Fox News as well. right? Because CNN is very left, and I completely get it. You have to see both sides. You cannot be in love with Trump and everything they do and they say, but at the same time, you have to see the both sides of the equation. If the market is crashing, if everything is happening, technically that's not a bad thing if you are ready to buy. And the whole reason why I'm saying that, which by the way, like I said, I love the fact that you're bringing your points because it's amazing. But the whole reason why is because you're not buying to sell immediately. We're not doing a flip. We're not flipping houses here. We're not buying to sell 3 months later. What we're doing is we're buying homes that we're gonna hold and have as holdings for 20 to 30 years. As a matter of fact, you don't ever want to sell your real estate. If you're needing money, you can always refinance. You can always get a HELOC. You can always do whatever. But the moment that you sell, that's the moment that you have to pay taxes. The moment you get a loan, you don't have to pay taxes because it's a loan. It's not a capital gains. So I'm definitely not saying over leverage either. I'm definitely not saying go there and buy 20 homes, which I personally can do that because that's how, and I was saying it earlier, I don't know if you were connected, but I was saying you have to make sure that you don't over leverage yourself. If you're making, let's say, $20,000 a month, you don't want to be spending $25,000 a month. That's not what you want. As a matter of fact, if you're making $20,000 a month, and I'm just putting a number, you don't want to even spend more than $15,000 a month. You always want to set aside some money because there's that rainy day that's going to come and you have to be prepared. You always want to be prepared. You don't want to over leverage yourself, especially in markets like this. You just want to buy, but you want to do it reasonably. The problem is when people get greedy. That's when problems happen. When people start kind of like getting greedy about everything that they're doing and now they want more and more and more and more and more. Which, by the way, I'm glad that I'm saying this because the other day someone was asking me about Avanza, the conference that we have. And I said, Avanza is not, because he was thinking that it was like a 10X. Like, oh, I imagine you want to do what Grant Cardone wants with the 10X. And I do respect Grant and I like, how he thinks as far as like growing and expanding and 10X and doing it 10 times bigger. I think that's cool. But it's not what Avanza is all about. Avanza is about moments like this. When everybody's going through adversity, just tell you and everybody, hey, we're going to come out of this situation. It's going to be good. Keep pushing. That's the whole advancing. That's the whole thing that we try to preach. It's like, guys, regardless of the situation that you're in, just know that you count with me and this guy and that guy and your mom and your dad and your sister and we're here for you, right? And if we have to pray for you, we'll pray for you because we're believers. I'm a believer and I do pray for my community. I do pray for the people that follow me. I do pray for the people that have been, with me. Are you still investing in Tribe? I am. And as a matter of fact, today I spoke with someone there that this lady sold me a piece of land. I'm sorry. Yeah, she sold me a piece of land and I resold that piece of land years and years and years ago. And now she's actually built some houses. Long story short, she wants to invest some money and she wants to do some developments together. So with all of that being said, guys, once again, I'm not a financial advisor. Some of you guys are connecting just now. I'm saying just, guys, let's keep pushing on not staying where we're at, but don't be greedy either. Don't think that you can just go out there and make $1 million by just, making an offer and then that's it. What I'm saying also is take advantage of the economy or the market right now and try to make some lower offers. Try to get some earnest. Some concessions, and try to make sure that you can take advantage of the market. Because if you act based on, you're afraid or you don't want to do it or you don't want to just do some stuff, then that's when you're gonna be making some mistakes. Now, does that mean that you don't research? Does that mean that you don't analyze? Does that mean that you don't even you just go to your computer and the first home that you see you buy? No, by any means don't do that. That's a big mistake. What you want to do is study your markets. That's the reason why earlier I asked you guys, where are you connecting from? I cannot help you if I don't know if you're even in the United States. Maybe you're connected from Mexico or Colombia. And to be honest, I don't think I can help you. If you're in Mexico or Colombia, I can tell you change your mindset, start by good habits, wake up early, all of that stuff. But I cannot tell you how the real estate works in Colombia, because even though I'm Colombian, I haven't invested in my country as far as like, knowing what works, what doesn't, how to make offers that work, how to make offers that don't over leverage you, how to control versus own, because that's the other thing here in the US. You can control without owning. And there is I have a school community that is 100% for free. That's how you know that I'm really genuine about this community. I'm just genuine about this because I could be charging thousands upon thousands of dollars for sending you and selling you a course and all that stuff. What I'm doing instead of I did something that's a free community. You can sign up anytime, and it will teach you how to control land versus owning land. There's two different things, and you can almost do the same thing on real estate. Guys, this was supposed to be a 30-minute conversation. It got super extended, but because I think it was valuable. And if it was just drop fire or something, I want to make sure that you guys saw the value in the whole conversation. I noticed that you guys were very engaged, asking really good questions. Lucero saying, yes, agree. Don't be afraid of buying real estate. Let's go. Guys, thank you so much. I'm going to continue doing some live videos. So make sure that when you see on my stories, live video at 10 p.m. on, let's say, Wednesday or Thursday or Friday, make sure that you connect, because this is a good time for you guys to bring your questions. I'm also gonna start posting my podcast where I go over news, and on that one I get more like into details of what's really going on, new tariffs, and how that's affecting real estate or how that's helping real estate. There's gonna be a surge of pricing right now on some of the stuff that are coming from other countries. However, that's also going to bring a lot of investments, and now that's being negotiated as well. So don't just go with one news or the other. Let's analyze both sides of the spectrum, and be careful with what you're buying, but at the same time, don't stop purchasing. Foreclosures are rising due to tariffs, but yeah, let's buy houses while the market crashes. It's time to hold and wait to buy. It's time to hold and wait to buy. It's different investors have different strategies. I would love to see what's your investment strategy right now, what you want to do. And I'm always a person that has 2 ears and one mouth. I like to hear more than I like to talk. That's the reason why I'm always asking you, like, just put in the comments. Let me see where you're calling from, where you're connecting from. Let me see how I can help you. Let me see this and that. So with all of that being said, guys, do your research, analyze the markets. Don't be afraid to buy real estate and wait. If you're not doing something that's 2 month or 3 month or 6 month or less than a year, if you're wanting to buy and just real estate is like the stock market is a roller coaster. Sometimes you have really good economy, sometimes you have a little bit of a slower down period, but in average, and you can Google it, so don't quote me on it, but it's about 7% appreciation over years and years and years. So if you want to buy something that's $100,000 today or $1 million today, and you just wait for that economy to maybe go better and continue growing, it's like you don't buy a stock, and because the stock is not selling today or tomorrow, you're going to sell it. That's when people make the mistake. What you want to do instead is you want to buy the real estate or the stock and then wait. If it is going through a downturn, then probably buy more. That's just my advice. I mean, not my advice. That's my point of view. It's not my advice. It's my point of view. If it is going down, you kind of want to get more because, I mean, at one point it's going to get up. But that's because I'm a very risk adverse guy. I like to personally take on risks, but I'm not a financial advisor. And by any means, I'm saying go there and buy all the stocks out there or buy all the real estate out there. I have ways to analyze markets, and I like to buy when the price is low, just like anybody, right? And sell when the prices are high. When are the prices going to be high? When all the interest rates start dropping, everybody is going to start buying homes. That's how you can see back to 2022, 2021, everybody with the lower interest rates, everybody was buying, and that's when people were over leveraging. So what we're seeing today is the result of people being, I don't want to say the word dumb, but people not using their 3 fingers in their forehead to just pay what they were supposed to pay. They were just overbidding. That's when you want to sell. That's not really when you want to buy. And I'm saying it like this really, really raw. so you guys can see what I'm saying and what I'm thinking about the economy and the market. You want to make sure that you're getting yourself into real estate, not when everybody else is overbidding for the same home that you were going to pay market price, and now you're paying $50,000 on top. I don't know if you guys know, but I have some friends that they actually paid more than $50,000. There's one lady that I know. She paid, I think she made an offer for like $80,000 on top of the home, and she still didn't get it. So that means that someone else paid probably $100,000 on top. That's not what you want to do. It doesn't matter what's going on. You don't want to over leverage yourself. You don't want to pay more for real estate than you're supposed to. Guys, thank you so much. It was supposed to be a 30-minute conversation. I love the fact that you guys brought some really good questions. Make sure that you connect to the next one every time, every day. Not every day, but maybe two times per week. I'm going to be doing these live videos. I want to see you guys' point of view. I want to answer some questions if you guys have some questions. And just go over that. So thank you guys. I'll see you on the next one. Let's go.